Hey, this is Julien, founder of The Dad, the Myth, the Legend. And first question that I have is, why do you believe faith is essential for fathers in business? Well, faith is at the core of everything, right? Faith is believing in things that I cannot see. And because of that, when we start a business as entrepreneurs, we're believing in a dream, we're believing in a vision, we're believing in something that was put in our heart, but we don't know whether or not it's going to happen. The ability to wake up every single day and do the work without a true promise that is going to work is faith. And sometimes as leaders, when nobody understands what it feels like to go through this grind, faith are the guardrails that allow us to keep moving forward when we steer to the left and the right. It allows us to keep moving forward in the right direction. Because without faith, well, we fall. Without faith, we lose our direction. And that's why faith is at the core of what we do. How can a father balance being a strong leader at home and in business? Well, it's a challenging piece. Why is it challenging? Because oftentimes as fathers, as leaders, we don't see that the same principle that we apply for business success can be applied at home. What I mean by that is simple. In business, you will have meetings with your team, right? In business, if something is not working well, you go and you sit down and you have a meeting, a conversation. Somehow, we forgot that we can apply the same skills that got us successful in business at home, but also not in that place of domination, that place of like fear, but that place of respect and honor and integrity, right? Where we can lead without having to roar to be respected, right? Is that fire that forces, not burns. Because it's very easy to use that posture as the father, the authority, and you have to respect me, versus that father that is that presence, that love, that accountability, and because of it, you respect me. And this is how you do it. How do you incorporate God into your daily routine as a father and an entrepreneur? I can tell you how I do it. For me, that's part of one of the first things I do. Wake up, pick up the Bible, just ask God to speak to me through it, and then getting the message. Once I have the message, is doing what I call a Bible stack, right? Which is asking God, what do you want me to see here? Sometimes I have to reread the same verse 3-4 times because every time there's something new. See, like I believe that God speaks to me, to you, through me, through you, here. But it requires you to actually shut up and listen. But oftentimes we don't want to shut up and listen. We somehow want to just, come on already, tell me, right? But God lives in between that space of thought and action. That space, this is where he lives. And so that means that you have to be able to be there and listen in that gap, in that space that is there. And the first thing that you do in the morning, if it's to commune with God, the ego is not awake yet. And so you can go and you can have this true connection and this true access with him. And that allows you to refocus your north on what is important. Because if you wait until the kids are awake, if you wait until your wife is awake, if you wait until everything around you is awake and moving, then they are influencing the day. They are influencing your north versus being guided into what God wants you to do, wants you to see, wants you to hear, wants you to know. And this is how I get it done. As a father of 6, how do I incorporate God into my children's life? Well, it's by example. Pretty simple, right? I remember when I was on my freedom journey, my health journey, right? Working on past trauma, working on my relationship with Mallory, her working on her relationship with trauma and her healing. As soon as we were able to get to this next level, this next milestone for us, because there's always things that you uncover as you're continuing to journey as a man. As soon as we were able to get to this next level, right away, one after the other, right? I have 6 kids. The 3 oldest, one after the other, asked to get baptized. And now this is not something that, we forced upon them. This is not something that we try to persuade them to do. This is just them feeling free because no longer did they feel attached to past trauma, to hurt that we've had in our DNA passed down, right? As soon as we were able to heal and get to this next level, they all wanted to get baptized, one after the other. And when I asked them why, they didn't have a clear reason why. And my understanding, my feeling was that when you heal you as the father, then your wife can do the work as well as the mother. Together, your kids are free. And when they are free, they want to be reconnected to the light. They want to be reconnected to the source, naturally. And that's how they wanted to be reconnected. They wanted to get baptized, not because of persuasion, not because of bribery, just because it felt right to them to give their life, right? And be reconnected. And so how do you do it? By working on you, by working on your healing, by having them see you open the Bible, by having them see you in the morning reading your Bible, by having them see you pray at the table, and by having you live in integrity. Do what you're going to say what you're going to do, act on it, walk the walk. How important is physical health for fathers that want to lead? Look, I remember this interview that I saw, right? And they asked this guy that was a predator, right? That means going after kids. And they asked him, hey, how do you pick those kids, right? And he was like, oh, it's very simple. He's looking for the dad to see how the dad looks. And he's like, when he sees that a dad is not a threat, then he attacks that kid. So for him, it had nothing to do with the kid, right? You would think, oh, he's seeing for the kid that is the most friendly maybe, or the kid that is the least likely to fight back. No, not at all. He's looking for the one that has a weak dad, a dad that is not a threat, right? Physical health is one of the number one lever that you control. You don't always control a lot of things, right? To some extent, you don't control your kid, you don't control your wife, you don't control your business, but you control your body. You control what you put in your mouth. You control whether or not you train or not train. You control what time you go to bed at. You control what time you wake up at. You control how much water you drink or not. You control if you abuse your body or not. You control all of that. So it's one of the number one lever that you have as a man. And so to be able to lead with integrity, one of your number one job is to have a weaponized body. Period. The end. How can busy fathers stay in shape with a demanding schedule? Look, it's consistency over time. All right? It's never about 2 hours in the gym, an hour in the gym. Literally, you can get it done in like 25 to 30 minutes, done every single day. Like that fast, right? One of the progression I love to give men, whenever we start working together is get inside of this framework. 10-10. 10 sets of 10 push-up, week 1. And then every week you just add 5. So 10-10, week 1, 10-15, week 2, 10-20, week 3. And you keep on adding to the load. And next thing you know, by week 8 or so, they're doing 10 sets of 50, and they're like, their mind is blown away. Like, wow, I'm doing 500 push-ups every single day. And it's because it's consistency over time, right? It's not about sprinting to suddenly, oh, you know what? Today I'm going to go and get this pre-workout and jump in and do 2 hours. It's not that. It's consistency over time. 25, 30 minutes, easy. And if you don't have time, 10 sets of 10 push-ups and 10 minutes of walking. And that is enough to change your life. If you were to do this every single day for 90 days, it will radically change where you are. Promise you. As a father of 6, how do I find the time and discipline to have it all? I live inside of a system called the Warrior's Way, right? It is a systematic way to just live and operate, which is every single day I live inside of the core 4, which is body, being, balance, and business. Inside of my body, every day I exercise. I sweat, whether it's lifting weights or for me it's Muay Thai. I train. Then I make sure that I take some type of supplement to help my body, whether it's BCAA, whether it's vitamins, whether it's green drinks, something that is healthy that supplements my nutrition, right? Then I do daily deposit to my wife, daily deposit to my kids. Now, daily deposit is not transactional, meaning I'm not giving you something to get something. I'm giving something to fill your cup, to keep on filling your cup, right? For example, for my wife, it would be a coffee, right? I'll make her coffee. When she wakes up, coffee is made the way she likes it. Try 2 double shot, 6 ounces of milk, froth, extra hot, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup or brown sugar, right? Sorry, teaspoons. And that would be it, right? Or it can be a note. Or it can be a little message. Hey, I love you. Hey, have a great day. Daily deposit, things that you forget because you get busy. And your kids, same thing. Hey, I have 6 kids. So for me, it's like I would, rotate. Hey, thank you for being an amazing brother. I see you. Hey, great job today at school. Just daily deposit to your family. Then, inside of being is meditation. Allowing yourself 10 to 15 minutes of just sitting down in quiet and letting your brain, right, your being unwind. Remember how we had way back like with PCs and you had to defragment, right? So they can restructure the hard drive, restructure the memory because there were so many things. Like, have you considered that this is something you can do for yourself? When you sit there in quiet with no technology, just focused on breathing and allowing yourself, whatever comes in as a thought, to just notice and let it pass through. And then for me, also stacking, which is journaling, right? Allowing you to pause, allowing you to submit to the facts of where you are and allow you to go and rewrite the story the way you want it, right? Because inside of stories, there's a couple of things that you get to do. You get to decide, right? The meaning is at the beginning. No, sorry, the focus, right? What you're going to focus on is the beginning, the end. You get to decide from there what is the meaning of it. And then you get to decide the action. So instead of stacking, it allows you to do that every single day because there's so many things that come in that you have to go and process, right? And as leaders, we get to make a decision that decides on people's well-being. We get to do that. But without having a clear mind, without having processed all the different emotions, as a husband, as a father, as a leader, then it's hard. And then lastly, inside of business, getting to learn something new by default or by decision, right? You get to decide. Because when it comes to default, something bad happened and now you have to learn this new skill. By decision, you decide to learn something for your business and then declare it. I mean, teaching it to somebody else, whether it's online, whether it's your team. And so every single day I get to do that, core 4. Notice how I say I get to do it, right? Not I have to do it. I get to do that. I get to stay solid, to have this be my foundation to move forward, right? And my prayer that I talked about in the morning, my Bible stack and prayer stack, that happens inside of journaling. And so every single day, I get to do that to make sure that I have the power that I need to move forward and renew my mind. That's how I get it done, core 4. As a busy entrepreneur, how do I find time to connect with my wife with the busy life that we have? Well, decisions, priority, order. I think we sometimes get confused on what is important, right? At some point, we start to think that work is the most important thing until your wife becomes your roommate, until you're living in a sexless marriage, until you realize, wow, how do we get here? Right? And so you get to make time for your wife. You get to do date nights, right? For us, with the way our life is going to be in the daytime. Day dates, right? When the kids are at school, daycare, then we'll take time together to go and do something, right? Grab a coffee together, talk, walk outside, get grounded. Just spend time together with no preconceived outcome. My wife and I are business partners, so we can easily start talking about business, but the goal here is just to talk nothing about business, is just to be there together. And then just talk maybe about the kids or just hold hands and be. And that's how you can stay connected. Then also conversation, right? I had shared before a framework that I learned that really has helped me a lot instead of communication with my wife, which was to mirror what she is saying, right? To validate her feelings, then to empathize. And to be able to have that so that the communication is received and she feels that I'm actually understanding. And then at that point, we can navigate versus trying to receive the information and trying to fix it or solve it or give a opinion where really what she wanted from me is just to hold space, which is just be the wall and be there. So that's how I get it done. What advice would I give fathers that are stuck in life? What shift? Well, The number one shift I would say is community. We got deconditioned as men to be part of communities, right? Since the industrial age, whenever we started to like really work in factories and all of that, we started to look at each other as competition, right? You're my competition. You're my competition. I want to be the supervisor. There's only one supervisor role. I want to be the director, the manager, maybe an executive. And so we start to see all of this as competition and start to forget community, right? And what happens whenever you forget community? Then you start to feel like everything is just on you, right? Everything is on you. And it starts to feel lonely because you no longer get any level of relief. You think that your problem is so uniquely yours that nobody has the same issue as you because you don't talk to anybody, right? Maybe you talk to your wife, maybe at birthday party you talk to other men, but it's like, instead of posturing, right? It's never true conversation about like the challenges that are happening right now at home or maybe with your kids or your wife. And so you just feel stuck and you feel like, man, something is wrong with me. Until you get in community and you realize that we are all experiencing pretty much the same challenges. How to communicate with our spouse, how to get respect from our kids, how to actually stick to a budget, how to make sure that we value the same things, right? How we maybe want to explore something sexually, but she doesn't, or she does, but we don't. Or she say, I always yell. Like, how do we communicate instead of this thing? How do I hold space for her so she feels safe because she doesn't? And you get to understand that from other men and therefore understands like, wow, I thought I was the only one. And then you get to learn from other people's mistake or also the solutions. How did you navigate that? Oh, wow, I never thought of it. Oh, wow, never thought that was that important. Let me try it. Oh, wow, you know what? It's working. So that's how we navigate and get unstuck. Number one thing, community. How can fathers work with me? Well, it's very simple. Send me a DM. Send me a message. Hey, I would like to chat. Look, one of the realizations I got was this. I remember I was inside of a deep meditation, and inside of that meditation, I wanted support. And so I just extended my arms like this, hoping that somebody would notice, right? That somebody would notice that I was actually needing some type of support, warmth. But nobody came. Nobody. So I came back to myself, right? But then again, felt this need of like connection with my brothers, with other men, right? So eventually, I just called people by name. And guess what happened? They came. They came. And as soon as this connection happened, immediately, tears started to flow down my face. Why? Because in that moment, I realized that one, we need connection. We need brotherhood. It is important. Two, when you ask for the support, you get the support. When you ask for the support, you get the support. We can't keep on thinking that people are going to see that we need help and support. We got to open our mouth to be able to ask for it. And we have to stop getting in that ego of like, well, what does he want from me? What does he want from me? Versus understanding that other people have walked that path before you. There's billions of people. I want you to think about this. There's billions of people in the line and you're somewhere on that line. Somewhere. And there's people on your left and people on your right. And the people on your left, they want to be wherever it is that you are. They want to be there. They want to be where you are. However shitty, small, horrible you think your situation is. They want to be there. And so they are willing to go and exchange, right, of energy with you, money to help you so you can help them be coached to get to where you are. And then there's people on your right that want you to get where they are. And that is how life works, right? I'm helping the people on my left and the people on my right are helping me move. And so if something in you is feeling this call, reach out. If you're feeling like, hey, I think I need support, let me reach out to Julien. Reach out. And what we'll do is what I call a war map. It's to see where you at. Where you at? What is this war ahead for you? Inside of your body, your being, your relationship, your business. And what does this freedom actually looks like for you? And what is this bridge? No more excuses. No more waiting. No more lone wolf. We don't have time for that. Like, it's time for us to come back in community. It's time for us as the support that we need so that we can be there for our kids, so we can cut all those chains of addictions, of anger, pornography, alcohol, all of them. But it requires all of us to come together and to just put this ego bullshit to the side so that we can actually create a world where we're happy that our kids live in. And we can live in a place that feels like levity and ease, not just constant battle and war and bullshit and all of that. Because we, if we admit it, like to make life hard sometimes. So if that resonates with you, if this is landing with you, send me a DM. Just say support. And we'll schedule time, you and me, online and have a chat. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Off you go. Top 3 things that you should be doing as a dad for your body. 1, train daily. You got to move your body. A body in motion stays in motion. 2, fuel wisely. Look what you put in your mouth, right? Does it help you or does it hurt you? Is it giving you energy or is it taking energy away? Is it making you feel fast or feel slow? And then the last one, rest and recover. You're not a robot. You're not superhuman. You're not a superhero. You're a human. And you need to rest. And when you rest, you can recover. From the work, you can recover to be a better dad. You can recover to be a better husband. Top 3 things that you should be doing as a husband for your wife. 1, lead with love. Everything you're doing with your wife should be with love as the filter. Number 2, pursue her daily. Do you remember that first time? Before you were married? That energy? Right? That level of service of, I would do anything for you. That. Do it like this is new. Not like this has been 5, 10, 15 years. Do it like this is new. Do the long hug. Do the long kiss. Not the quick one to go somewhere. Right? Do the quick one. No. Do the long one. Long hug, long kisses, long love-making sessions. Right? And then lastly, 3, communicate openly. Remember the framework. Mirror what she's saying. Validate her feelings and emotion. Empathize with the whole situation. That allows you to give her space. So those are the 3 things that you should do as a husband for your wife. Top 3 things that you should do for your kids. 1, speak life into them. Your voice will be the voice that will resonate in their head. So speak life into them. And I know it's hard sometimes. Whenever it's chaotic, whenever they do something stupid, right? But speak life into them. Catch yourself. If you say something that doesn't speak life, change it up. Even if you just said it and you caught yourself, overwrite it. Because your good will drown the bad. Right? Be present. Be present. Be where your feet are. Have you heard that before? Be where your feet are? That means if you're there for the recital, be there for the recital. If you're there for the soccer game, be there for the soccer game. Don't be at the soccer game, but on your phone or watching the score, right? Or like emailing somebody. Don't do that. Be where your feet are. And 3, teach by example. Don't tell them to exercise so they can be healthy and you out there sitting on the couch drinking beers. Don't tell them they should eat healthy and you out there just eating a bunch of bonbon or whatever else, right? Teach by example. Because your kids don't always care what you say, but they care what you do. So those are the 3 things that every father should do. Top 3 things that you should do as a spiritual leader of your family. 1, seek him daily. Remember we talked about that in some of the other videos. First thing you do in the morning, wake up a little bit earlier to be able to be in communion. Whenever the ego is not awake, be in communion. Seek him daily so he can be your north. That means this is the direction that I'm going so you can be part of the divine creation in co-creation with others, right? Like that is so important. The other one is lead your family spiritually. When a man is spiritually connected, his family is spiritually connected. That means openly speak about it. Openly speak about what you're believing in, not as a dictator, but as the spiritual leader of your family. Right? Just like speaking life into your kids, this is part of it. Being the spiritual leader your family needs. And the last one is walk in obedience. And this can be a hard one because sometimes walking in obedience is walking in things that you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. God just told me to do that. Just like for me, when I left corporate to go and being a full-time entrepreneur, he said, go out, launch into the deep, cast down your nets, they will be full. Then we cross 1,000,000. Then he said, put the nets down now and follow me. We're going to be fishers of men. And I was just like, hold on, this makes no sense. But this is part of walking in obedience. So those are the 3 things that you should do as a father in following God. Top 3 things that you should do as the leader of your business. 1, operate in integrity. You say you're going to do something, do it. Integrity is doing the right thing when nobody is watching, right? Because living in integrity inside of your business vibrates out to your community, your clients, and your team. And as much as it makes sense, as much as we want to say that it's different in business, that there's business ethics, right? There's integrity. You know the right thing to do, so do the right thing. 2, build relationships. Everything, and I say everything in business is relationship. From your clients, to your vendors, to your team. It's all about relationship. It's just all people. And people want to do business with people that they like. So build relationship. Don't see things as transactional. See things as relational, right? So that means like don't always approach it with just business, but approach it like seeing the person behind the money. With their pain, with their problem, with their situation, with their pit, but also their pleasure, not just their pain. See the relationship. Number 3, refine your skills. One of the funniest things to me, right, is when somebody said, I've been in business 20 years. And you're like, okay, cool. So why is your business not in a better place if you've been there for 20 years? Why are you still at the same place? Did you know? I know the stats have changed a little bit. But in 2018 study, right, that have done, see like how many small businesses had crossed 1 million? There was only 4%. 4%. That means 96% had never crossed $1 million in gross revenue. Now, why? It's because you have some business that never evolved. You have people that have been at the same job, but never learned, never adapted, never grew, never spent the money on coaches, consultants, courses, never. So that's why things like learning something new in the weakness of your business and then applying it right away makes sense. Because if you can learn every day, apply every day, and pivot when needed, and keep on doing this cycle of learning and pivoting and launching, and you keep on doing it, then you will grow. And those are the 3 things that you should do as the leader of your business.